Hello, everyone. Woo, Jesus, messed up my Wi-Fi. Okay, so what I'm doing is, let me turn this down because I'm freezing again. I want some shrimp so bad. I think I'll have that for dinner. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm showing, trying to show, I go to the store and forgive the garbage can. I just like everything right at my hand so I don't have to be moving around a bunch. I go to the store and I buy these signs, and I'll either make the sign like this or I make the sign straight up like this, depending on what I'm planning on saying. And I have these signs. Now this one says HR 192. I added this in because some people were thinking that I was saying migrants can vote. Of course, I wouldn't say that. I'm running for president of the United States. So I'm saying HR 192. Now illegal migrants can vote. It's not something that I am advocating for. It is something that your Congress has allowed migrants to do in several states. So I played a video the other day. There's a reason, I'll get to it. I played a video the other day of me talking to a lady, nice lady named Chelsea from Congresswoman Representative Jasmine Crockett. She's making the rounds now of how she went off on Margaret Taylor Greene and called her a bunch of names that start with a B. She and a bunch of Republicans and Democrats sat out the vote to vote against this. Now, in the House of Representatives, it did not pass. In the Senate, they refused to take it up. So in the District of Washington, D.C., it went into effect in 2023. So now illegal migrants can vote. So in the phone conversation that I'm having with Chelsea, she's telling me it didn't go to the Congress. Yes, it did. It did. It did not go under HR 192, but HR 192 was the bill that they were recommitting to vote it down. I don't know the name because it was an omnibus bill when it was in the Senate. I don't know the name of the bill. Okay, so what would I do as president? How can I fix it? How can Golda D. Harris fix this as president? Because what I'm saying here is you name the country, they're here now. Congress lets them vote. And so that's why I'm telling you that the southern border, Jamaica, Haiti, Nicaragua, Pakistan, India, Ortega, Cuba, Germany, Asia, China, Venezuela, Ukraine, Laos. Did I leave off something? I probably left off a few of them. Make me United States president in 2024, Golda D. Harris, because they're here now and they're allowing them to work and they're allowing them to vote. Now, 30% of our workforce from last year is these good people here. I'm telling you, I'm not going to make these people monsters that are coming over here working, because the people that you voted for, the people that you put in office, the Democrats and the Republicans and the President Obama, Clinton, Bush, they allowed this. Trump, Biden, they allowed this. So we can't now come along and say, no, these people are horrible. These people are harming us. They allowed this. But now what they've done is they have taken a car. Listen, in 1992, President Reagan said, you know what, we're going to have a mass I just said it the other day. It wasn't the ones that came over here that didn't get in line. He said, we're going to give you a mass asylum, but no more after that. And so what they're doing now is they want mass asylum, but there are 100 million plus of them here. And my issue is there are too many here. So what's happening is they're causing the insurance, because there's so many coming, insurance, food, gas, rent, everything is skyrocketing, and they're pricing us out. So here's what happens when they trickle over and they come over through the 7-year process of legal immigration. They come over, and over the 7 years, and they pay into all of our systems. And so this feeds into that little video I did about Gina Janine the other day, when she was saying, I don't pay into it. If I get sick, I just pay at the time that I'm sick. Well, the problem with you and Americans who do that is because you don't pay over time that you work in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. Paying a little bit into all of our systems is so that no one person has to pay for all the MRIs, for all the catastrophic injuries, for all that. When somebody has a pileup, one accident, and it causes a pileup, one state doesn't have to pay out of their pocket. That's what the whole purpose of this is. And it's like Americans, the more time go on, it's like y'all don't understand. Each state has to share that. So in order for FEMA, the federal government, to send money down to all the state citizens have to work and pay into the goddamn system. You can't say I'm just going to opt out and not pay into it. And then when you are no longer in the market, like I'm no longer in the market, I'm no longer working, and I'm no longer paying into those taxes. I'm still paying taxes because I shop and I have to pay insurance and I have to pay for gas. But I'm no longer paying into the employment taxes. I'm using the taxes that I paid for when I worked by getting my disability. But if you're not even paying into the disability taxes, when you tap out of the workforce, and you will, stop saying that you won't, unless you're going to die when you're 50. But you're not. People in America are living 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. We're living longer and longer because life is better for us. We don't have to work as hard. We don't have to work 2.5 jobs like I did. Now I'm in my late 50s and I can barely use my hands, my hips, my legs. You're not going to have the problems that I'm having because you didn't have to work as hard as I did. Yeah, I didn't have to work as hard as my mother did. That's why she died in her 60s. But I'm not going to die in my 60s. And then this lady, Gina Janine, says, I don't know how my mother did it. She cut out houses, and she did this, and she worked 2 jobs, and she took care of me and my sister. Right. But your lazy ass don't. And then you walking around here talking about you buying $1,000 t-shirts. I'm so happy and I'm so proud that you're ever to do that. But we could not. And you ain't even paying into the tax system that everybody has to share. Now, why is it a problem with these people? Because if you let 50 million people come into the country, George Bush, Obama, Donald Trump, Biden, if you keep letting 11 million immigrants and DACA come into the country and give them benefits that y'all ass don't give us until we work for 30 years, insurance skyrockets. Gas, food, apartments, everything, clothing, the bare basic needs. Why does it skyrocket? Because these people will come here and they will say, hey, but we work. It doesn't matter if you work right now. You're working and you're getting the benefit right now as if you started working 30 years ago. You're getting the same benefit that we Americans are getting right now. SSI, everything, food stamps, you're getting it, but you haven't paid for it. And that's the problem that I have. I don't have a problem with you coming here and you being here, but you gotta get the fucking line. And that's the problem that I and other Americans have. We worked for what is here. You ain't entitled to it because you having strife in your country. And then we are sending hundreds of millions of dollars to your country to help your country do exactly what you're doing here. So it's a double dip to us. Now, when I say help for Americans when I'm president, this $17.76 a week, this does not include migrants. This only includes Americans. Oh, that's not fair. How can you give it? We work too. What did I just say? Yes, you are 30% of the workforce, but you just started paying taxes. Americans have been here and we have been paying taxes. So if you are an immigrant in America and you've worked 10 years, you goddamn well right you're going to get this. Because I need you to invest it and spend right back into America. If you have not been in America 10 years, let's just say you've been here 9 years, then you got to work one more year during my presidency. But as soon as you hit year 10 and my staff can verify that you paid taxes for 10 years, and like I said, listen, sometimes y'all come here and y'all pay taxes under an SSI number. Maybe it's yours, maybe it's not. But if you could prove that you paid taxes under that SSI number, and then somebody else comes along and say, hey, wait a minute, that's my SSI number. It's not your SSI number. Well, who paid the taxes under it? If you paid the taxes under it and they paid the taxes under it, y'all both can get your money. As long as I collected the taxes, the government collected the taxes from both of y'all asses, yeah, you both can get paid. I'm not going to say, oh, well, you know what? Technically, it belonged to the Americans, so you can't get yours. But you really did pay the taxes under it? No, you can get your money. My point is, have made sure that you paid the taxes and that the taxes were actually collected and paid into the American coffers. I'm not going to hang you up like that. But if just on paper it said you paid the taxes and no taxes were collected, you ain't getting this. You ain't getting this because a lot of y'all play that game. A lot of y'all play that game. This is for Americans. So if you came here and you're 30% of the workforce and you ain't been here 10 years and you ain't paid your taxes, don't expect this. This is to help the American economy. This ain't for you to send back to your country. No country. I don't care what your country is. I don't care what your status is. I don't care if you're here legally, illegally. This is to help the American economy because we are drowning. We are drowning taking care of you. We are drowning taking care of your spouses. We are drowning taking care of your children. This is not about race. This is not about discrimination. This is about a president of the United States candidate trying to help people in the United States. And this actually helps you because some of this money will be spent in your establishments. Any establishment that is an establishment, this money is to go to Americans to help any American establishment. So if you have a store in America, this will be spent in your store, and then you will collect the taxes and send it into our government. That's what you should want to do. Right? You want to stay here. Yes. But this is only during my presidency. if you guys were to elect me. This is to help our democracy so that our country don't become the country that you ran from. And this is why I do need the migrants that are here, the migrants that can vote, to help put me in as president of the United States. I'm not saying that I'm going to put you out of the country and send you back to your country. I do have a plan for you, and I do have a plan for you to come here legally. But all of y'all can't stay here the way that y'all came here. And you know that you're wrong for coming here under the circumstances that you came here. If you keep doing it, we are all going to fail. We are all going to fail. So if you have family members here and you're a migrant and you have legal family members here, I do need you to ask them to help put me in. I'm going out again. I'm going out again to get my petition signed. Y'all can start another one in another state for me. Signature, print, sign your name, just cover up the person's address. My name is Golda D. Harris in different states. This is only so I can be on the ballot. But even if I am not on the ballot in the different states, because I can't reach all of the states, my name literally does not have to be on the ballot. It doesn't have to be on the ballot. I want to put this here so that I can explain it. My name does not have to be on the ballot for me to run for president of the United States. This is not a scam. This is not a joke. I am literally actually running for president of the United States. I wouldn't joke about something like this. I support the presidents in a lot of countries. You know that they're in the Dutch and Canada. Macron, he's putting some of you guys out. So are the Dutch, and so are the English, because they say that you guys are costing them more money. That is unsanitary, and that is unfair to the people that live there, and it is. So let me put this on low now. Oh, that's high. So the thing is that these payments, the money is available for these payments, but you have to, even if you're American, you have to require for it. You have to meet the requirements. I want to pardon people federally and in the state. I do not have power as president to release people from state prison. Even some people that have committed murder and they served the majority of their time and they've complied in the prison. I want to have a program, a release program, because we need people to work on our farms. We need people to work in the jobs that are going to be vacated by the migrants that are going to have to leave this country and go into the program that I want them to go into. It's a program that will roll into the next administration. It's not a program where if I were to become president and if you guys were to elect me in, the next president wouldn't continue. It's not that type of thing. You have constitutional rights under our federal government, and so the next president would have to continue those federal rights. But again, if you're not going to make me president, I'm not going to bother to go into it and tell you about it. Nobody even wants to do that for you. But it's not fair that you make things difficult for the people who live in America with your presence, because you're bombarding us. So I'm talking about removing the illegal migrants. Now, Trump's getting in. Biden's in here now. He wants to let you guys in 1,000 at a time. He's looking the other way. It's probably going to be 5,000 at a time. How is that going to pan out? Even if Biden gets in, right? and he gets another 4 years. He can't run again after that. So who's coming? Trump? They're going to gear up for Trump. And then all of y'all going to be cut. Well, not all of y'all, because we know, wink, wink, Trump needs y'all to run and work in his companies right along with these other capitalists. But to make a show for his people, he's going to cut a lot of families like he did before, and a lot of people are going to be separated from their kids, just like Trump did before. He don't give a damn. So if Trump don't get in this time, and let's just say, because what it looks like is they're going to that Supreme Court is going to excuse him, and then Trump's going to put more judges on that Supreme Court. So you illegal and legal migrants, y'all gone. I'm talking about putting you in the program. You do have to leave America, but you don't have to go back to your country. So me, Trump, or Biden, I have a place for you to go that's safe, where you don't have to confront them. But I'm not saying it because I'm not giving them the idea. If you don't trust me to do it, you're not getting my idea. Secure the schools. That means no guns around any schools in America. Roe v. Wade will be restored. Fund the farms, grants, no loans. If there's a farm in America, that's why I'm talking about pardoning people. That's why I'm talking about working with the governors. People who have marijuana charges and other type of offenses, like say they didn't pay certain things. And I mean people who are fit physically and mentally to work on the farms and that are willing to be trained. Even some of these companies where people can work in an office and that are computer literate and can work and help our computer, learn computer technology. Why let these people sit in prison? There's so many intelligent women and men sitting in prison, and non-binary people sitting in prison that can be learning this stuff. They just need a living wage, but the company can't afford it. That's where this comes in, right? And then some people think that judges, the United States Supreme Court judges, can't be fired. Yes, they can, because no one is above the law, and you just need the right team to go after these judges and fire them. And then you put in an interim United States Supreme Court. That's how you get this restored. That's how you take care of securing your schools. I'm not going into details. Yes, I do know. But let me tell you something. I'm not a scholar. So that's where you get your men and women scholars. You get them together. And that's where you don't have to deal with Republican and Democrat. Because when scholars come together and they start discussing that scholarly stuff, have at it in a room. This is what I need you to come together with. I don't care how y'all do it. Get in there and pull it out the books. Pull it out your brains. Long as it is the end result is this. That's not for me. That's for you guys who went to school and studied this. And that's where politics plays no place. So this can happen. It's happened before, because I'm always on that TV watching. And I'm like, oh, it has happened before. Because see, what this United States Supreme Court is doing is they're making themselves legislators. And they're not allowed to do that. And I know as president, they can be prosecuted for that. All right. This is way past due. This is a debt that has to be paid. There's 7% of the population that is due this payment across the United States. So this is just a matter of it's past due, and it's a debt where we're not looking at going to Congress and getting permission. When a debt is past due and it's in the records, it's just to be paid. Let Congress argue or no. I'm not interested. I'm just going to go ahead and pay it. And anyone who works in my administration, before one solitary function is taken, everyone is getting a pardon. And I mean, everybody in every agency that works in my administration is getting a pardon. Why? Including myself. Why? Because I don't want people doing their job that fearing that when I leave office, someone is going to come after them and try to hold them accountable for anything they did in their official capacity while they were working in the Golda D. Harris administration. So as long as you don't do anything that is against the United States, as long as you don't do anything that is tyranny against the country, just do your job. Just do the job that you're asked to do, and you won't have to worry about it. Now, if you go out there and try to rape somebody and shoot somebody and bust somebody in the head, that's not something that you're doing on behalf of the country in my administration. You're going to be held completely accountable for it. If you have drugs in your possession, that's not something that you're doing on behalf of the country or something that you're supposed to be doing. You're going to be held completely accountable for it, just to be clear. But yes, I'm just coming to the people and letting them know that I do want them to vote for me, even if I'm not on the ballot, and that's my plea to the country. So the last thing is, I said I was in that video that I made. I said I was going to call the senators with regard to that HR 192, those who voted against it, who voted against prohibiting allowing the illegal migrants from voting. And that was in June. If you look at the date, it says May 10th, 2024. Published by the Senate Sergeant at Arms. I was already going to call these people. And this is why I told Chelsea, well, I'm going to call them. Don't worry about it. Because, see, I was already going to call them. So this is the list, the phone number for everybody who works in the Congress. This is the 118th Congress. May 19th is when Margaret Taylor Greene, AOC, and Representative Jasmine Crockett decided to act like children. On May 23rd is when HR 119 came up. Eventually it didn't pass. It passed, but it was knocked down by the Republicans. But there were 7 Republicans who abstained or did a no vote. I don't know why. Why would you say, I'm not going to vote on whether or not to prohibit people who don't belong in this country to vote or not? 23 Democrats decided, we're not going to vote either. If they vote, they vote. They don't, they don't. And 143, including Jasmine Crockett, said, no, I'm not going to stop them from voting. I'm not going to prohibit them from voting. So even before that happened, I had issues with Congress. And so this is how you reach out to them. See, this is all their names, and this is how you call these people and get in touch with these people. And I don't understand. This is public information. This is not anything. It tells you the Senate and the House extension, and then their suite is here. How to call them, and then you go down and it has the state, and then the phone. You dial the prefix over here, 22, the prefix. It had the vice president, and you dial the phone number, the suite, and then the phone number. So I was in the process anyway of calling these good people. It's Cory Booker, and you just go down the list. I don't understand why, and they do have one specifically for the House of Representatives. I don't understand why more Americans don't do this and get involved. And these are my issues. Like I said, there are a lot of other things that I've not highlighted, but I just wanted people to know, like the birth control issue, some of it has resolved itself. But unless you take care of these things, the other stuff falls in line. If people know what I'm talking about. There's more things listed here in the small print. I just pulled out 7 of them. But there's 4 years, and I'm not going to run for a second term. And I'm also being realistic that YouTube has been blocking me, but my videos are literally reaching millions of people around the world, and I've asked them to share them, and they are. I hadn't realized that they are. Let me sum up this video by explaining this. I got rid of all of my videos in June, the beginning of June. I hit select all because I had 700 and something videos, close to 800, and I hit select all, and the ones I selected, all of them, I hit private, and they said this will take a few hours, to make them all private. Okay, private. I was just curious about something, about my views, right? Because I got this new thing like 2 months ago. I got this new thing on my videos, and it came up all of a sudden, and I kept getting this thing, and I'm like, YouTube's interfering with my videos. Again, I always make a live one on my phone, and I couldn't understand why it was doing it. And it was saying, has this video been seen before? Is it mimicking another video? Is it, it would ask me 3 things. And I'm like, why is it asking me? Is this content from another video? Is it mimicking another video? Is it a video from a live person or something like that? Yes or no? Right? It's right under the part where it asks you, is this meant for kids or not? And so I always hit no, because of course it's not. I'm making it right, like new. So no, it's not from somebody else content from a live thing or something. Like if I see a video, the video is not live. It's something that somebody already played. Very rarely do I see anything live, right? Even if they say live, I'm watching YouTube. So nothing is live that I'm watching. Even when it says live, it's not live. Okay. So On June 7th, here, where my finger is, this, this finger, right here, right. June 7th, here, June 7th, I made new videos, like 6 new videos, right? And so it says account ID right here. I just crossed out the number. It's the same account that I had the 800 videos. And then it says YouTube data linking, billing and payment, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know why it did all of that. But from the 6 videos that I made, I made the 6 videos. And so in here, it's like with the stuff that I don't want to type over and over and over again, like I'm running for president, da, 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 da. This is where you type it in here. Jeez. This is where you type that stuff. Here, general information, channel, upload defaults. You go in here, and then your permissions, your community, politics or whatever. You put all that stuff in here. What is your agreements and your promotions? I don't have any, because this is not I'm not promoting anything. I'm not paying anything. So then I make the few videos, and I go look at it, and I make this video, right? I select my picture and all that stuff. And so when I look at the video, you could clearly see it says I have no views. The same day is June 7th, right? So I make this video and I title it, Gosh, It's So Hard Being Beautiful. Pre-work is free. So it says no views, no likes, no nothing. The first 2 hours and 20 something minutes. So it's been out 2 hours, right? 2 hours and 9 minutes or whatever it is. And views, it says 0. And when you look at underneath the picture, it says 0. Now this is, I think, like the 5th video. And then I think I made one more video after that. So I've got like 6 videos out. Remember, all my other videos are there, but they say private. So YouTube is doing it as if it's a new channel. So in order to see how many videos how many views these 6 videos, you have to go to what's called analytics right here. So when you go to your analytics, you can find your views and stuff over here. It's in your summary. And then you look at your views. And if you look over here at the views, look how many it says over here. And look at my watch hours. 6.6 thousand views. The watch hours are 64.3. June 7th. Look at the time. 9:53. So from June 7th, when it was 12:37, to June 7th, when it is now 9:53, and you're telling me it's 9 hours later and I have no views. I actually have 6.6 thousand views. I wonder why. So I don't make the videos that says YouTube evidence, YouTube is messing with my channel for you guys. I make it to show that YouTube is a capitalist company. They have companies in America, and I subscribe to the American channels. I subscribe to the Canadian channels. I subscribe to the channels like Alf Pagoda, who I don't even know what country Alf is in. I subscribe to the Britain channels. I subscribe to the channels in Laos, Africa, Haiti. I subscribe to channels in Cuba. I believe one of my channels, they're out there in Antarctica. Because I support free enterprise, all over Switzerland, like everywhere. First of all, I love seeing different places. Those people that are out there on the side of the mountain, I have no idea. The Mayans out there with their homes on the side of the mountain. I love free enterprise. So of course I'm going to support anyone's channel with good content on it, not just Americans. Because I made a video the other day and I was explaining that I support Americans, but obviously I'm subscribed to 900 channels. I wouldn't just subscribe to Americans, but I was just making a point in that video. But because I love all people, it doesn't matter to me. But and that's what we should do. We should support one another. But for YouTube to try and silence me by showing me that I have no views, if I were the type of person who got disheartened by showing me that there's no views, because there are some people out there. There's a lady, her King of Queens. Her name is Rose. And she is getting herself some help and some narrators. I would never do that. That's not just type of channel. But one of the things I said I was going to do if I were elected president of the United States is make sure that I visited or have someone from my administration visit YouTube to stop this type of censorship. Rose should have hired someone to help her with monitoring her channel, to help her, because she has a business. This is not a business for me. People are saying nasty things to her. They're saying racist things to her because her husband is white and her children are biracial. As president, you should always, and no matter what president in any country, you should always address biracial issues. You can't stop other people from having the feelings that they have about race issues. Racism is taught. It's not something that you're born with in your being. When you're created in a womb, you're not created with the racism. You see it, you learn it, you adapt to it, right? If you learn something, you can unlearn it. Just like that. You can unlearn racism. One day, as an adult, you'll find yourself saying, hey, why am I like this? Why am I doing it? Because somebody told me to do it? That's stupid. And you'll stop doing it. You will stop doing it. It's the same thing with having, with being offended that somebody is gay or not gay. You'll stop doing it. But it should never, ever be ignored. Never should it be ignored. Shouldn't be celebrated, but it shouldn't be ignored. And let me quickly tell you why. I'll tell you what my mother instilled in me about people who are racist. It's their personal choice to do it. It's their personal choice to continue to do it. But what you should never do, and what Rose should never do, because she said, I'm never going to see the comment. I'm never going to know that you said it. Let's just say, and this is why I got upset with a mother who didn't teach her son, and he reminded me of my son. He was a big, chubby, beautiful bear. He had all this beautiful hair, and he was dark skinned, and he just had these beautiful features like a bear. I mean, God, he was beautiful. And he was just around, she, had moved into a neighborhood that was just with white people, predominantly white people. And some of them were racist, and they murdered him. And he thought that they were his friends, and he was happy to see him, and they were happy to see him, and they pretended, they were happy to see him, and they took him out, and one day they unfortunately murdered him. And I was so angry with the mother that I didn't even have any empathy for her, because I could see that they were racist. This really upsets me, so I can't even really keep talking about it. But I could see that they were racist, and she could see that they were racist, and she just wanted them to accept her son. But he couldn't see that they were racist because she decided not to teach them, not to teach her son to that they were racist. And so he never ever saw it coming. And when they showed it on the news, they said that they had taken video, and he was crying out for her, and he was crying out that, why are you doing it? Because he never knew that they were racist. And I was so upset with her. And so when Rose said that I'm never going to see your comments and I'm never going to know it, all I could think is that she has 4 black sons. And if she never teaches her kids that there are people that are racist, and if she puts on blinders, she doesn't have to see. She never has to see the comments. But at some point, if she doesn't save those comments and show her sons that there are people out there, like my mother taught me, that there are people out there, and this is what they look like. These are the things that they will say. And they will kill her sons. Now, I don't know what makes people racist, and I don't know what makes them as adults hold on to it. But you don't have a right to take anybody's life because somebody put an idea in your head. And YouTube does a disservice, and they promote the racism. When they hide it. Nobody wants to be bullied, and nobody should be bullied. But anyway, how do we know that YouTube is not a racist and that YouTube is not promoting it if YouTube is hiding it? You can't hide the existence of racism because then people can't be protected from it. You can't protect yourself from something if you don't know it exists. You have to give people the opportunity to know that something exists, and then let them have the opportunity to stop it. Have a good day.